minute.
हम नहीं बात कर.
We have 30 seconds, so no worries. Okay, we are live. So let me just do a couple of things before we start. Perfect. Guys, first of all, everyone joining us, thank you so much for joining us also in the new year. Happy New Year to everybody on behalf of everyone in the panel and also as part of the panel. Happy New Year to all of you guys. I don't know how it was, Yash, bye for you in Canada. What were you doing as part of the new year?
Nothing, bro. Just chilling with the family. Nothing else.
Oh, nice, 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 nice. Good. And Vicky, how did you have your New Year? What did you do in Berlin?
It was crazy. We were at a friend's place just close by. We thought we'll
Nice.
head out together to watch the fireworks from a place, but we
Okay.
just came out of the door and
Mm-hmm.
it was just chaos all over the streets. People were shooting
Yeah.
flare guns at trains, at buses,
Oh
and
my
so on.
god.
It was like a war zone. So we just decided
Crazy.
to then watch that for 5 minutes
Germany.
and went back inside. Yeah, Germany, you'd be surprised. These guys take it one far more seriously than Diwali, but two, there are also a lot of people who just want to cause public nuisance. So yeah,
Oh.
but they aren't typically Germans. Typically,
Perfect. I mean, it's just the same in Frankfurt as well. It was a bit chaotic because the city itself didn't arrange for any fireworks, so people were
Mm.
bursting fireworks on themselves, like on themselves, literally on themselves. Because one, it was raining and snowing, so when they were setting off their rockets, because of the wind, the rocket was getting blown out and the bottles were falling, so they were literally bursting rockets on themselves. So the best seat in the house was to stay in your apartment, watch from the windows with the shutters on, and then see, make sure that the rockets don't come your way.
I mean, it's been so normal because we've seen so many fireworks in the stadium only. So
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Vishal, how was your New Year?
Mine, I think mine was the most peaceful out of
Okay.
all four of you. I had a cake cut with my friends, then I went slept straight away. I slept for 8 straight hours, 9 hours, woke up and again went out with friends. That's it. That was my New Year. So yeah, gracing up for another weekend of game where we don't know how it's going to be. Let's see.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. That out of the way. Thank you so much again for joining us. As I said, today you can already see the passion. Three of us are in the United jersey, and Yashbai wears United jersey always. He's not wearing it at the moment, but he wears it on his sleeve. So Yashbai is,
अरे, you
as I
want me to
said,
watch this? मैं तो
nay,
ऐसे ही.
nay, nay, bhai. Nay,
No,
nay.
no, no, just
I
give
was
on.
just kidding, bhai. Nay, nay, bhai. I was kidding. I was just saying
अरे,
that.
दे दो.
Okay, good.
it hurt his
Seriously.
it hurt his ego. He couldn't. No, he had to change it.
Let's just, let's just wait for the by then to come back. I'm sure it's going to be an interesting jersey. Is it going to be a home or an away jersey, Yashbai?
Or maybe a retro 2008 Munich.
A retro. Yeah, that would be
So
great.
then I would have put the away jersey. I had one. I thought.
Look at that. Look at that.
और मेरे पास एक ही
He,
jersey है. I had to order so many jerseys.
uh-huh.
Many teams. I like to have
Yes, yes.
collection.
Nice, nice, bhai.
Let's see, yaar. But I just have one
Amazing.
jersey, so बहुत पुरानी हो
It's a
गई है
nice
अभी.
retro. It's a nice retro. Yes, it's a brilliant retro. Perfect.
Yeah.
So before again, now that Yashbai is also donning his jerseys, we are all in jerseys now. So um, one thing, we are all on the same page. So let me just start off by saying thank you so much again for joining us on the live stream here, and also for our panel. I've put together almost an Avengers of Man United fans, you can say, the best of the best as far as I've known. First up, I would like to give a quick round of introduction. on what I know about Yash Bhai. He runs the channel Defective FC, one of the hardest working Man United content creators I know. Literally open YouTube at any hour, and Yash Bhai will be either streaming United or he will be on his friend's channel doing a rival or a hate watch with putting that as the thumbnail as well. So
अरे यार
no. No, but most importantly, he's one of the nicest blokes out there. And the best thing about Yash Bhai is you just have to tell him not even a day in advance. If you tell him 1 hour in advance, he will come and join. As long as he's not busy or something, he'll join a
हाँ,
podcast just to talk about Unite.
thank you
That's
for
the best thing
mentioning.
about Yash Bhai. Yeah. So I just want to say to everyone, please just follow Defective FC. He's he's a wonderful content creator, and he's closing in on a personal milestone of 500 subscribers. So, anybody who provides support or subscribes to his channel is going to help him in his journey. And as you can see, he has a giveaway at 500 as well. So, Yashbhai, do you want to talk about it?
Yes, अभी तो decide नहीं हुआ है, and
हाँ.
just be on my channel, follow the Discord, and जल्दी rules आएंगे when I'm closest to 500. इतना बड़ा नहीं होगा because it's just 500. Okay, just my personal, just a gift to everyone who supported me. But 1000 बहुत अच्छा सा होगा. So 500 पे ही मतलब कुछ अभी तक decide नहीं है, but obviously it will be jersey, and I haven't decided how many it will be. Like it will be multiple, but 2 or 3, yeah, but not one.
Brilliant.
But,
Brilliant. Yashbhai.
but I want to say, yaar, Hari Bhai is one of the most sweetest person I know. Okay, and I apologize, like on stream, I apologize, Hari Bhai. Recently, I made a video and I forgot to mention Hari Bhai. Like literally, मैंने सारी video निकाली, and I was pretty sure कि मैं किसी को miss कर रहा हूँ. And man, there are multiple people, right? तो मेरे दिमाग में आया ही नहीं. And there are so many I opened the tabs. मैंने लग रहा था किसी को miss कर रहा हूँ, and मैं miss कर दिया यार. मैंने हरी भाई को miss किया. I'm really sorry, Hari Bhai, for doing that. But
अरे
Happy New
भाई.
Year, bro. Happy New Year. And he came on my channel. We did a watch along of Bournemouth game, and for the first time, Hari Bhai wasn't stressed, and he was mad and it's very rare to see Hari Bhai and Shashi Bhai also, like mid-wicket manager, to see an angry mode. I saw Shashi Bhai last time, like against Wolves. He was getting pissed off after the game.
Yeah, it
So
was great.
it's very rare to see these guys losing
Yeah.
it their mind.
I was exactly. I was there on the 4-4 watch along with
Yeah.
Yash, and
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great match for the neutrals. But as a United fan, I probably lost most of my hairs that day. I mean, I was just pulling them out as to seeing what's happening here. Crazy.
One of
But
the main match which gave me good recognition. Okay, and I forget
yes,
that match only, bro. I literally forgot that match. And I'm like, bro, come on.
I'll tell you, for those of you who missed Vishal and Vignesh, and also for our viewers, when Kunya scored the fourth goal, you can see behind Yash Bhai, there's a bed. He was literally on the bed, jumping up and down when Kunya scored. Thinking the match is done. Just for Junior
Totally,
to
bhai.
put the
I
points
think
back.
everyone thought like, "Why 80 minutes पे हम कभी भी come back नहीं करेंगे." And like they just scored the goal, and I did not imagine
Yeah.
because everyone were trolling कि भाई कि Bournemouth will win.
Yeah.
Bournemouth will win. And at some point we also thought कि भाई we gave up the match. And when we saw the proper remontada, like the Leon match, bro, this was the nothing. Like the Leon match, I put my 2 sofas on each other. But I was not. The Defective was not there that time. So, how was your feeling, guys, when you saw those matches, like Vishal and Vignesh?
For me, each and every game, watching United, each and every game is like heart attack games. Okay, like seriously, not even joking. Like the favorite game. You were just mentioning about the Leon game, right? I was
Yeah.
shouting so hard that the nearby house members came and asked something what happened. I shouted so hard. That's how much that meant to us. Okay. I just hope like something that happens and we enter at least top four this season. That's how bad I want. With the last Wolves game, the amount of opportunities we had, The amount
Yeah,
of times I shouted, and my parents got disturbed because of that during their sleep. It was so difficult, bro. Like to watch these moments. Let's see. Let's hope 2026 must be a great year for us. Things are slowly starting to change, but there are a lot to improve. We have to wait and see how things goes, right? Hopefully, the best things will come soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
Those
was
those
something
of you
similar.
those of you who follow Vishal, I just wanted to say why his neighbors are always troubled. Because Vishal does most of his content on the terrace. I see he's always on the terrace doing his content. So it's the best. His neighbors are forever troubled. So if anyone who's joining us to complain about Vishal, then sorry. On behalf of
uh, to be fair, that's the place where I find a bit more space than in my room right now. So
yeah.
can't blame me, but yeah, it happens actually.
true.
Sorry,
Uh,
Vignesh, you were saying something.
No, no, I was just saying that Leon was pretty much the same for me as well, just like Vishal. Like it, that roller coaster of emotions I had with Leon, I don't think I've had with United for a long time. Like genuinely, after that fourth goal went in, that penalty from Leon, my heart sank. And a good friend of mine was actually in Old Trafford. That was his first United match. I literally texted him like,
Crazy.
"You're never going to
uh,
another United match again."
Crazy.
And then that happened, and I was just grinning from year to year when Harry Maguire scored. It's somehow always him with the crucial moments, similar to Anfield
Yeah.
this year as well. Bournemouth was pretty much the same. Wolves, I would say, was more just frustration, sheer frustration pretty much throughout the match. It's like even when Dorgo's goal went in, it was more of a sigh of relief rather than one of elation, which is, yeah, I think the theme I've seen is against the good sides, we seem to be performing better, but against teams like Wolves, who we really should be putting to the sword, we're really struggling, apart from that game at the Molineux.
Absolutely. Perfect. Already we've started talking about Man United. As you can see, we're all in our jerseys and start talking about United. But just before we go into the actual crux of what we wanted to discuss today, a quick introduction on Vishal as well, who's joining us from, I think you are in Hyderabad or Chennai now, because
yeah,
we had
right
this
now in
talk
Hyderabad.
before.
I have been in Chennai and in Hyderabad. I moved both places, so you can say both. I'm from India, so yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Great, 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 great.
Yeah.
So, for those who don't know about Vishal, he's a very well-known face in the United fan base. As I said, he's always on his terrace, no nonsense, no filter, straight from the heart. Takes, especially
Right.
post-match and pre-match as well. He likes to give fans some dares as well. And almost with United, it's a dangerous thing to do, especially if you're a United fan. And he often makes me actually laugh because he's got this very infectious energy about him and the way he gives his takes. So I really admire him for that. And thank you so much, Vishal, for joining us today on
Thank you
this
for the
live
kind
stream
of
debate as well.
thank you for the opportunity as well. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. So I just want to say to everyone who is joining us, the links to Vishal's Instagram channel is on the description, and I'm going to add his Twitter as well soon. Vishal, congratulations to you. You just reached 1,000 subscribers on
Yeah,
Instagram as well. Not just his
thank you.
content on football, but his cricket content is as well very, very good. So I can only urge people to join him on his endeavors and then join the gravy train to see what Vishal is up to on a Man United and a cricketing front.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you there. Yeah, we'll stay even more active. We'll try to even more do many more things. Actually, looking forward to it. Yeah.
Perfect. And then last but not the least, Vignesh is a very dear friend of mine. His socials will never be there on my description because he's on a social or a digital detox for as long as I've known him. He's one of the most passionate Man United fans I've ever known. I almost call him the walking encyclopedia of Manchester United because any game, any year, any match, you just have to tell him what happened, and he will tell you the goal scorers or the
Yeah.
or who scored or what was the score line. He's watched United for as long as I've known, or probably ever since he was born, or something like that. He's someone who also has a very balanced take on United. He never jumps to any extremities, and that I really admire and appreciate from fans, especially when there is a lot of content where that people are trying to make it go viral. There are a few out there who still are balanced in their takes. So thank you so much, Vignesh, for joining us on what was a Friday here. So are you off today, or are you working, or are you bunking work to join the pod today?
I'd prefer not to speak, otherwise I'll be in big trouble.
Trouble, yes.
Um, no, but thank you for the kind words, Hari. And it's been a lovely 7, 8 years with Hari. We met at work, actually at Deloitte 7 years ago, and then our plan was always to come to Europe and then roam around visiting all the stadiums. We've done one half of that, which is come to Europe. Now the second half is we need to now go around visiting the
Yes.
stadiums, especially Old Trafford. And thanks for the opportunity to be here as well. This is actually, funnily enough, my second attempt at being on Hari's channel. The first attempt was immediately discarded because it was a debate on whether ETH should stay or not. And literally, I think few days after we shot that, ETH got fired. So
Fired. So the episode never went live.
yeah, hopefully that's not a precursor of things to come here as well.
That is true. Thank you so much, Vignesh, for joining us. And now let's jump quickly into the crux of what we wanted to discuss today, which was to debate all things Man United. So let me quickly uh, jump into that. And this should show up now in your screens. Okay, perfect. So, as I said, we're going to do a debate style. And this is the format that I thought of that we could do. So, what I would do is I would pick a question or a topic and open it up to the panel. And what you guys would do is you would first pick a side. So I would ask each of you, or I mean, obviously you can pick a side. So whether it's a yes or a no, whether it's an Amorim in or an Amorim out. So basically, you can pick sides, and it's also fine if you don't want to pick a side and you want to give a balanced take. That's totally fine. So after you pick a side, I will like you can take about 1 to 1.5 minutes to provide your opening statement, wherein you will just say in a few words or summarize why you have chosen a particular side. Like if you've said yes, then why yes? If you've chosen no, then why no? So just a few thoughts on that, and then we open the floor for debate. We will take comments from the viewers. We will debate upon our own differences in opinions, and yeah, we'll take it up from there. And we summarize. All in all, we give about 10 to 15 minutes per topic, and then we summarize and move on to the next topic. So I hope it is understandable to the panel members. Obviously, this is something that I've already shared with them pre-read. This was more for the viewers, and as I said, anybody who wants to join us or ask any of the panel members, as I said, these are some of the most well articulated and I mean, they are the superstars of Man United fandom, I can say, in terms of how much they follow Man United. So if there's anything that you wanted to ask these guys, also please let us know. Perfect. So let's move on then and pick out our first topic. And this is exactly what we already started discussing. So at the midpoint of the season, we are at 19 games. Is Manchester United's season an improvement on last year? Yes or no? So Yash bhai, why don't you start? Which side? Is it a yes? Is it a no from your end? Yash bhai, Sunai, we are not able to hear you well.
Sorry.
Ah,
Um, yeah. Obviously, we improved from the last year, bro. I've been keep telling we are now number 6 if I'm not wrong, right? 6 or 7.
mhm, mm,
Number
Yeah.
6, yeah.
Number 6. Yeah. Same points with the Chelsea. Last year we were at the stage that we were there was no hopes in the Premier League. I think Ruben Amorim was only focusing for Europa League at some point because we were not even doing good in Premier League, and in knockout stages Ruben Amorim is good. But this season, obviously, Grimsby Town kicked us out, and still we have FA Cup. We're still gonna see Ruben Amorim for the knockout stage. But if you talk about last year and then before the last year, we were so poor. Like I've been keep telling to everyone that when Eric Ten Hag was here, there was no hopes for the first of all कि भाई हम लोग we gonna win the big matches. Okay, first of all that when Ruben Amorim came, at least we saw the gameplay. When we saw the idea, when we saw our bomb squad out, like Garnacho, Rashford, Sancho, because they're not the bad players, but they want to. They don't. They can see they can be each other when the team is needed, right? They're not there when
Mhm.
team. They are not the team players, they are the individual players. That's what if the team is losing, they're like losing their head, making scenes with the manager, because
Mm.
no one like, right? If you're working at the company, if you're working at the work, no one likes if you're arguing with the boss, if you're arguing with the manager. That's the same case what happened at Manchester United. Okay, so when the bomb squad is out, when we saw the idea, when we saw the players are jamming up with each other, when we saw the transition in
Mm.
the Ruben Amorim system, we got to
Mm.
know कि भाई, we can do it. By we can win the games. There is Vignesh, Vishal, and Hari. Bhai, you all are United fans. Tell me one match that we could not have been won. Like हमको ऐसे feeling आई नहीं कि भाई ये हम लोग हार सकते थे. Rather than City वाली match, कौन सी वाली
Mhm.
मैच आप बोल सकते हो मतलब कि भाई हम लोग ये डिजर्व करते हैं हारने वाले, rather than City वाली match
I I feel the
this
only
season.
match except the Grimsby Town game, that one
Mm.
Yeah.
game I feel that was the reality check for us this season. After
Mm.
Hmm.
everything, the transfers ending, that one game has changed our entire season so far for the last 4 to 5 months. Because when that defeat, that shock defeat, I feel like
Hmm.
everything changed. The culture, the players, most of them were offloaded. I feel like the culture has improved. There is a plan in Ruben Amorim himself has admitted that he would have done things differently. Like the recently he said, I think he would have done things differently 1 year back or so. So I feel like he is a manager who's trying to implement something better. And I
Mhm.
feel there are some changes that are being displayed right now. So I feel I stand with the Yash Bhai actually on this. There are some changes, but there are
Yeah.
still a lot of room for improvement. That's the action.
Lot of improvements, exactly. And he's one of the manager who implemented like 33% of the academy players in, and it's not like he wanted, but he has to. Okay,
Mm.
that's the point. Like he has to, he has no option. But still,
Yeah.
there was 33% 0.7% he used academy players than any other manager for specific this season. So we are getting no our academy players as well. हमारे पास option नहीं है to like to change it. So that's the case. So I'll see, obviously I'll see the improvement, and if you guys any counter, you can do it.
Mm. Mhm. Vignesh, your first, you're siding with yes or no, and
Yeah, I
Yashbhai and
think
Vishal, or do you have another opinion?
no, I think it's good that you're
Yeah, let
starting us off
Vignesh
on
go
a
ahead.
easy question, Hari, because it's this one I think is an easy yes. Because there is definitely compared to last year. Last year,
Mm.
I feel like we were almost the depths of our hope. So
Mm.
once when, like Yashbhai said, under ETH, we were really struggling. And then Amorim came in, and for like the first two games, I remember against Ipswich, the first game, we had so much hope, especially the first two
Yeah.
minutes. Ahmad scored. Sorry, Ahmad had that
Rashford.
pass to Rashford. Yes, Rashford scored. I just remember Ahmad because he was responsible for 90% of that goal. We had so much hope, but then after that, it instantly died down with so much talk about the formation, and also there was a lack of togetherness. And I feel like this year, one, the squad has definitely improved. The three guys that you've shown on the picture there, plus the amazing new wall that we've gotten after the old wall left a few years ago. I think these guys have made a huge improvement to a squad. But more importantly, I feel there's more togetherness. And with the togetherness in the last few games, we're able to see them interchange different positions and there's more fluidity. So I definitely
Mm.
feel as a team we've become better. But also, just like Vishal said, I think there is definite scope for improvement. Part
Mhm.
of it also has to do with personnel because I think there's one key thing that's still missing in the mindset of United players, but I think we can go deeper on that later on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just to play, I just also thought of some points, right? To also play devil's advocate to the whole thing. And to be honest, is it an improvement? I mean, this is, as I said, as Vignesh rightly pointed out, it's the easiest point where everybody has sided on one end because last year was a complete aberration. I mean, it was a disaster to finish 15th. Yes, It was not his squad. Yes, some players he did not want. The system was new. All reasons put. I mean, you can put all the reasons in the world to finish 15th for Manchester United is not done. But cut to the new year. Cut to the new season. We've spent about 200 plus million now, and the points difference between last year and this year is about 8 points. Now, my question, just to also play devil's advocate, is when also you guys spoke about Grimsby Town. If let's say that was a blessing in disguise that now we are playing only one game a week, is this 8 point shift that we are seeing this season, playing one game a week? And sometimes we've seen the intensity of these players. They don't turn up first half. They probably only panic when the opposition has scored. And then start turning up. So do you think this is justified? Do you call this as a good measure of improvement? Because my only question is, last season was so bad, and this season, yes, there is improvement, there is progress, everything that you guys spoken of, and you also admit that there is loads of improvement to be done. But just when we compare the two, is the improvement enough? Is the next question then.
Hmm. Okay,
Vignesh?
to be fair, like since that we are playing just 1 week, one game per week,
Mhm.
the amount of injuries we are having, the squad depth we are having right now. If we were playing 2 games or 3 games like that, like let's say we are playing in all the competitions, I don't think so we would have even 11 players in our starting level. The amount of injuries already right now we have. For this Wolves game, we didn't have 7 of our starting players. That's the amount of injuries we have had so far. And obviously, one key point that you stated is the lack of intensity at crucial moments of the game. I feel like after the halftime or before that moments of goal, we would have seen the players, everyone turned off their switches. That one lack of moment. That was this one game. I don't remember exactly which game. Lenny Yoro was chasing. I think it was the game against the one before Wolves. Which game was that we played against?
Huh? The Villa one, the
Uh,
one against Morgan
Yeah, I
Rogers.
think the Villa one. Yeah, actually, Morgan Rogers did it right. I was just when Morgan Rogers was getting taking the ball over the corner side, I was just shouting in my room, chase him, close him. I was just shouting because I knew something was going to happen there, and right away Morgan Rogers just slided in and cut it and scored a goal. That was the moment I felt like those were the key moments. They should not give up. That 1 second of turn up, that one small mistake costed us that game. Like that, we can say for every game, each and every game we have lost, we have dropped points. The matches that we have do, though that will be the only big mistake that we have did in the entire game. We would have not did any mistakes much in the game. That one small mistake before the half time for the 5 minutes, they would have not played at the full intensity, and the opponent would have scored us a goal. So I feel like
Hmm.
that's where the through the 90 minutes putting the full intensity, and when you're just playing one game a week, you expect the players to give their full intensity. That's what something missing. That's actually I completely agree with Hari there. It's absolutely right. Yeah,
Vignesh, Yash,
No.
do
that's
you have some inputs as well? Also, Vishal mentioned one thing, and I just wanted to point out, probably this could also help. Have you also been plainly unlucky because of the amount of chances we've conceded and how clinical the other teams have been? I was also looking at a stat as to how less uh, the other teams have shots on goal and how easily we concede. Like even the Wolves game, if you see, there weren't much shots at goal. Yes, Lemons had to make one or two saves, yes, but the one that went in the first half, that was probably their first or second shot on goal, right? So, have you also been plainly unlucky? Yeah, just to add to the conversation.
No, I disagree. I don't think so. We were unlucky.
Hmm.
Sesko being the problem. Of
Hmm.
course, many people are criticizing, but we have to give him time because he's so young and he's still at adapting the Premier League thingy.
Hmm.
You guys also live in Germany. You know how Bundesliga works, and when he was playing at RB Leipzig, he used to come from the back, right? He has to stop that eventually. Like in Premier League, you cannot do it. Zirkzee is trying to do it like coming from the back, going at the front, but it's not working. Holland was trying to do the same, like going from the back, making the balls on the wingers, but eventually no work. But like we need a proper number nine, and Sesko, we brought Sesko because of the number nine. Like
Hmm.
stay on the box, like stay in the box, stay in
Hmm.
the final third. Do give the rest of the people to do the job. You don't have to come from the back and just stand there, right? That's my perspective. Like you guys can disagree, but Sesko needs to be on the number nine, and he has to adapt the role. I keep seeing the improvement like from the Sesko side, but what watching, like what I watched the highlights of Sesko at RB Lives, like he was shooting the cannonballs and the shot like from the headers and stuff. He was actually struggling in that against Wolves. I'm like, bro, it was easy for you. Just shoot the ball. What's so what's so hard for you? You guys been to keep training in each and every training session, but Xerxes is coming and looking so pathetic. Like like seriously, I was so frustrated from Xerxes from last whenever he started after the Everton game. I think if I'm not wrong, he started in Everton game, right? He started in
Yes,
came in
definitely. Yeah.
Everton game, and I was so pissed in that game. Only people were like, it's the first game. But I'm like, no. He's been from here like 1.5 years. He's been training in each and every session on the pitch. He's been coming as a substitute. He just got a one starter. In that starter, he was struggling. Against Crystal Palace, okay, he was actually struggling, but he scored the goal. I see him, it was a lucky goal. And I'm like, okay, we won the match. But Zirkzee, I told each and everybody, "Ki don't hope that Zirkzee will do something." People were
Hmm.
criticizing that Zirkzee nahi hai, galat baat hai, Zirkzee acha karega. And now everyone are watching कि भाई Zirkzee is the slow motion guy भाई उससे नहीं हो पाएगा. He cannot adapt the Premier League. Like he can score, he can do better. Like Holland is doing better. Like seriously, no, seriously, like he cannot.
नहीं नहीं
Like
भाई.
in
I
Syria, he can do much better.
Huh, huh. I
Okay,
remember I was listening to Talk of the Devils by, and there Andy Mitten used this word called, I think it was Andy Mitten or Kalanka. He said he
hmm.
used the word languid to describe Xerxes. So I just went and saw the definition, and it said lacks any energy, lacks enthusiasm, lacks vigor. And I don't think it could explain Xerxes any better. Literally, he's on slow motion. Bhai. He is
Like
on slow motion.
I
He's
know he
not following
scored,
the pace
he
of.
make the chance against Wolves as well, but no, भाई वो पूरा game pathetic था. Like seriously, he
No,
was. And
actually, Yash bhai, I have to say, to be honest, that should have been counted more as an own goal. We know how that was a
I was on.
lucky
अरे नहीं,
deflection for us.
फिर उसने वो
That
बदला
that
भी ले
counted
लिया
as
उसने.
lucky goal.
उसने खुद ही चांस
That
बना
was
दिया
a,
अपने लिए.
we were honestly lucky that we got that goal actually because every goal that Sesko tried to put in, that was perfectly saved by the goalkeeper. Okay, the amount of chances Sesko
हाँ.
got, he was speeded well in that game. But we were unlucky during each and every time on that. And this time when Xerxes shot that, the goalkeeper was diving in the right direction there. But because of their own defender, that deflection, we were lucky with that. We have to agree with that. Xerxes has to put a step
Yeah.
up to his game. Definitely, we are
But
agree with
I
that.
know he will do good at Roma if he's going. And I know people are criticizing for Rasmus Holland as well. But you guys are here. You watched Rasmus Holland last year. Did Ruben Aaron give him chances? Yes or no? उसको कितनी games दी भाई? उसको starting किसके रही? Hours in Premier League भाई वो. Like he was not a, like some people are not meant for Premier League भाई. I mean, if Ruben Amorim told him कि भाई आप बैकअप आओगे तो नहीं नहीं वर्क करता वो प्रीमियर लीग में. प्रेशर बढ़ता जाता, वो स्कोर नहीं कर पाता, उसकी वैल्यूएशन डिप हो जाती. एंड इट्स सो सिंपल फॉर जेक्सी एज वेल. उसको 6 महीने और खिलाते हैं, उसकी वैल्यू और डिप कर जाती. हमको 20 में उसको बेचना पड़ता फिर. Like it was so by if we are getting 30 million price tag, like even the obligation, I'm really happy with Xerxes leaving.
Mm,
Either we can
mm,
invest like 30 to 15 to 20 to bring
yeah,
a proper number nine as a backup,
yeah.
or the rumors are for Mateta.
Mm,
Like we can invest that money of like if Holland and Zerxica, and we can put in bring Mateta as well, and he's a Premier League proven player as well.
mm,
So, I'm happy with Xerxes leaving.
yeah. Viggy, as in life, you've always been quiet listening to all of the opinions because you want to factor in everything that has been said so that you can provide your opinion. What was your take on everything? Before that, Viggy, let me just, sorry, quickly cut you. There is a comment from Gary Sidhu who says, Amorim on January transfers. The transfer window is not going to change. We have no conversations about changes in the squad. So that was the comment. Thank you so much, Gary Sidhu, for letting us know. So yes, bye. Obviously, I mean, Gary, he's not gonna let us know
Right.
that we have funds and we are going to spend it all. Obviously, with I don't know if you've seen the news about Hoyland. So Hoyland is going to be a permanent transfer. We got 6 million out of the loan. We are going to get 44 million, I think, euros or pounds. I'm not quite sure. I think 44 million euros.
अरे झूठ
Out of
बोल
that,
रहा है वो.
Euros, yeah.
अरे अमरिम झूठ बोल रहा है, मजाक नहीं कर रहा.
वही
He is
इसीलिए मैं
gonna.
बोल रहा हूँ.
हाँ हाँ.
हाँ, exactly. He's not
He's
going to tell in the press
like
conference कि
he's
भाई
like
मेरे पास.
price bracket कम नहीं होना चाहिए. जब वो
Exactly.
इस पे करेगा.
I, yes, I remember Amorim not even telling about the fact of his players returning. He's even keeping that as a secret. So I am pretty sure he's not going to tell who is going after. That's
The,
the best. Because yeah, if that's
uh,
getting released, then the amount of competition that comes along with it, and Chelsea, obviously, I feel like Chelsea will release 2 to 3 players. City will release 2 to 3 players. They are getting Semenyo already. All this will happen. It's better that Amorim stays silent. These informations need not be leaked until Fabrizio leaks it in the social media.
true.
Obviously, I accept
Leaks it.
that. Yeah, obviously. So it's good that he has kept it hidden. He doesn't say anything. He just. I feel like the way he is trying to change the culture, he's trying to handle the pressure at the United, the pressure that media gives around Manchester United.
Mm.
Everything, I feel like he's handling it better than how the last 2 to 3 managers, better than how they have managed actually. So I feel like it's getting better for me.
अरे
Perfect.
ये ऐसा मान like Amorim is the guy कि भाई जब भी झूठ बोलता है ना, like whenever he speak like वो पकड़ा जाता है. Like he is so honest कि भाई whatever he's speaking उसकी feeling से like he can represent, but जब भी झूठ बोलता है I'm like भाई ये मत बोलो सच्चा.
No,
He
but he could
gives
be
up.
telling the truth right now. He could be telling, that's the thing also. He might not be telling us lies, but he's just saying the truth that there are no conversations right now.
हाँ.
Not that there are no conversations that could happen in the coming weeks. I feel like
That
that's how
that is
I
more
would do.
scary. Imagine leave no money. I think if there are no conversations about transfers, that is more scary than not even having money to buy these players. Because if these conversations, if it's not happening in January, then when, right?
No, for sure.
But
I think it's more with conversations with other clubs. I'm pretty sure they're having multiple conversations internally because I also heard that I think we've tried thrice. We've tried going back to Brighton for Baleba thrice within the last few months.
yes,
To just keep checking, like, hey, are you guys planning on selling in January? Are you guys planning on selling for a relatively cut price fee, given that he's getting substituted at halftime or not even starting most
yeah,
of the times?
yeah,
But Brighton have always said, okay, we'll wait till the summer.
yeah,
So I do know they're interested for sure. But I think the good thing also with Ineos that I've seen is we're not panicking. Like for me, Casemiro, as much as he has offered us, was a panic buy after De Jong didn't go through. We put all our eggs in the De Jong basket, didn't work. We went to Real Madrid and we're like, okay, how much money do you need for Casemiro? And then we gave them 60 million pounds plus 10 million on top of that. And that just screamed panic buy. And I think Ineos are looking only at players that really want to come to us, which is why even the
true.
Semenyo, they made sure they went till the end with City. They presented the proposal. Semenyo said no. Okay, we move on from that, and we're not just trying to buy another wing back just because hey, Semenyo said no. Wing back is a position we've got to address it. But I think also coming back to your original point, Hari, on the devil's advocate part, have we progressed since last year? You're completely right. There does need to be an improvement, and I think mainly towards sides that sit deep because I think we've for the last 10 years somehow we have just been struggling against that. And I think tying back also to what Yashbhai said about Sheshko, I do agree. I think Sheshko needs to improve, but I also think it's a bit harsh on him because I still remember in the Wolves game itself, and I think it was 80th minute or so, Casemiro had a chance. He was just dribbling out of defense, like we were on the counter. Sheshko was running through. There was acres of empty space in front of him. Casemiro just took too much time. He didn't even make a pass. He got dispossessed. Like that, I've seen Sheshko make so many runs in the game. Nobody ever tries to find him. I think there have been a couple of times, maybe once, I think it was Shaw that released him for Sheshko, and then he did a dribble on his own and then tried shooting. There is nobody who passes to him. You see, Hoyland right now, he's playing well in Serie A, because of course the league is a bit easier, but B, he has Kevin De Bruyne, he has other people actually supplying him. And he just never got that at United. And I genuinely feel Seshko can do far better if he actually provide him. And even the crosses, Yashbhai, I agree that he can do a bit better on the headers, but also half the crosses are actually behind him. He had to sort of take a step back almost and then try to generate all the power with his head, which is incredibly hard. as opposed to like if you're swinging right in front of him, he's hitting it with his head, that's going to go like a cannonball. So I think it's a bit of both. Sheshko needs to improve, but also the service to him needs to improve. And I think with that, we can start to see more progress.
Perfect. Great. I think we've spoken in detail about midpoint, and there is a clear consensus that we've improved. But there's also a clear consensus that the improvements need to happen in specific areas, especially breaking down teams that sit back, intensity, game awareness, and people, especially with the new signings, having to do a little bit more until help can arrive in January. So let's move on to the next one, because this, I believe, now will start a proper debate. Because my question was, is Ruben Amorim actually flexible, or is ego getting in the way of better results? When I mean ego, his ego getting in the way of better results. Here, Vignesh, you can start off by choosing a side, or you can play devil's advocate and choose both. If not, come on.
I think I'm going to choose a side which I don't know if all of you will go for, and I know definitely the most of the United fan base won't go for it. I actually think he's flexible.
Mhm.
I don't think he's actually letting his ego get in the way of results, because
Mm.
when I've seen little bits of Sporting play, I've not followed them a lot, but whenever I did see Sporting play, I actually felt like as a team they were very fluid and flexible. But for you to be flexible and be able to express yourselves, you need a solid base to begin with. And I feel like that is what he was implementing so far. And the problem we've had sometimes under previous managers is when you keep switching and changing between not just formations but systems. I feel like formations are less relevant. It's more about the focus for each player. Like, okay, what is that player in that position supposed to do? When you keep switching between systems, it becomes very hard to instill these principles, I feel. So I think Amarim kept it stable, maybe for a bit too long before experimenting, but now I think he is starting to be more flexible. And
Mm.
so I personally think he's more flexible and not just egoistic.
Mhm. Nice. Yash bhai?
I think it's thoda egoistic, and it's nothing wrong with it, because every boss should be ego. Every boss should be implement the signings. If you change your opinions on the basis of your members, or the whatever crew members you're working, or whatever the fan base is saying, okay, then you're not the boss. You're the
Mm.
yes man, and I don't think so. He's the
Perfect.
yes man kind of person. Okay, so ego, yes, and if you ask me question this now, I'm saying no, because he's trying to adapt. He's tried different things, but somehow in his mind he is like, it's not working. I don't know why.
Mm.
Like, okay, Patrick Dorgu worked at right winger 2 games ago, but last game he still put in left winger. Okay, he could have put Dallo still there, and like, Dorgu ko leke bhi aa sakte the in the transition, but it did not. Like, he did not. So he's stubborn. We know he is sort of stubborn, but I'm okay with the stubbornness, because it will say two things: either he will be very successful, or either he will be like, it's downfall for it.
Mm.
वो
Mm.
बीच वाला बंदा नहीं रहेगा, ये वो दो साइड ही आएगा. Like, if he will go on top, or he will literally go on downside,
Yeah.
and he knows
Exactly,
that.
bhai.
Also,
Yeah.
the media also knows that कि भाई, if we win, Amarim in. If we don't win, Amarim out. तो ये दो ही चलता रहेगा. तो वो मिडिल वाला गाय है ही नहीं, वो वाला. तो I don't think so. थोड़ा
Amazing.
ego है, it's okay, but flexible, he's getting better, because he has. मैंने बताया ना पहले सेट में, he has to. तो he has no options. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's even though if it's not flexible, it's okay, because
Yeah.
Jurgen Klopp be put his own starting lineup. Ancelotti will
Mm.
also put his own starting lineup. Okay, he's still
Mm.
finding his proper 11. Because आप लोग मुझे बताओ, like, did you guys saw Sesko, Cunha, and Emmo starting continuously 5 games?
No.
No, right?
Yeah,
So वो consistency आई नहीं है, उन तीनों की jam up हुई नहीं है, तो वो बेचारा भी क्या करे, right? तो it is okay. I think it's थोड़ा ego है, but it's okay. Like, ego थोड़ा बड़ा है, flexible थोड़ा
बट
कम
गुड ईगो. बट गुड ईगो
है.
ना,
Good ego.
मतलब जो
मुझे पसंद है,
बॉस
like,
को ये पास होना चाहिए. हाँ.
मुझे
ठीक
पसंद है,
है.
like, according to boss, I'm like, okay, bhai.
Mm.
Like, there is a say, like, only one pilot can run the plane, like,
Mm.
fly the plane. Okay, one captain can only, like, there's only one captain, like, even the ship आप कुछ भी मान लो, so he should be the captain. Okay, तो that's my मेरा point है कि भाई मुझे ठीक लगता है, मुझे ये ego चलेगा. और अगर
Amazing.
दो ही अगर जाएगा तो भी इट्स ओके, और नहीं जाएगा तो भी लाइक आई एम वेरी वेरी हैप्पी विद रूबन आमिर, सो नो वरीज.
Perfect. Vishal, your take on this?
So I think I'll be the first in this today's show to take a 50-50 on this today.
Okay.
Because there have been few moments which I could say as an example. So let's say when Ruben is acts as Yashbai said actually, he is not a person who tries to please the audience or the please the fans. He trusts one process, he trusts a template, and he's following it. Now we can see it as a two things. He is having an ego that he wants to build a squad that he thinks of, which obviously he hasn't built it. He has brought in just 3 to 4 new players. So he needs his resources for his tactical formations to work. But at the same time, as fans and audiences who have watched the game, watched the players, we might have had few instances where we would have felt that this decision would have been better. For example, uh, playing Kobe Mino there. We felt Kobe should have been in the 11 in lot of the during first half of the season when he was in bench continuously. Most of them felt that he should be in that 11. And at the same time, many of them wanted Bruno to be in that cam position. We wanted Bruno in that cam position more than the midfield. Play Kobe in the midfield and Bruno in the cam. We all tried. We thought that when Brian, Amar, and Masaroy are going for this AFCON, many of them were anticipating that this will be the birth of Bruno in camp position under Ruben Amorim era, but it hasn't happened yet. Bruno is still in the process where he is the midfield engine. That's what Ruben sees him like, and he has trust the process means he has something in the mind. So I feel like yeah, we do feel that there is some ego that might help the make team play better, but at the same time he is still having a proper template and is not trying to please people. So I feel like it's a 50-50. And as Yashbhai said, obviously, it's either going to be super successful or it's going away completely. So yeah, that's the
Perfect. Thank you so much, Vishal, and everybody who spoke about this, because there's two things that I garnered from this, right? There's one what Yashbhai said, which is
Yeah.
you either you win with the sword or you die by the sword, which is Amorim's approach. But then there's also Jose Mourinho's one very famous quote where he says, "You have one idea, and if that idea is continuously failing, and you die with that idea and you get sacked for that idea, then there is no bigger fool than you,
True.
because that idea clearly wasn't working. And you should have the guts to say, I have been wrong and I should be able to change it. Now, this is my biggest beef with the whole thing. So let's take back the 3 games prior to Wolves. So where he employed a back four, we started with the back four. Things were working out really well. Even in the Aston Villa game, apart from the Morgan Rogers 2 wonder strikes, we actually did really well. And as Yashbhai said, Patrick Dorgu was playing amazingly well on right wing, which was what he was doing at Lecce as well. And this was really working out really well for him. And then come back to the Wolves game. Now we are playing a Wolves, which is possibly the worst team in the Premier League history at home. So why change things when things are working? That is number one, my first question. And the second question that I have is, to accommodate Xerxes into your lineup in the place of Mount, why change so many people? Like, why play so many people out of position? That is my biggest beef with this manager. Is I understand you have a formation in mind. I understand you have a system in mind, but you as a manager should be able to bring about the best in your players. And I believe players play best when all the players are playing in their best or preferred positions. Fair, 1 or 2 sacrifices in the teams can be made, right? Like, for example, Bruno, obviously, he is not used to playing this position. He's playing this position for the team. Yes, we all know that. For example, if you take the 2003 World Cup, Rahul Dravid kept wickets because that was for the balance of the team. I agree. 1 or 2 players, experienced players, doing this or sacrificing their positions for the balance of the team, I understand. But having to play so many players consistently out of their favored positions, that along with a system that United have never played, that is why I brought up this question: is his ego then getting in the way of, when you can see positive results and something else is working? Okay, now I need to go back to what didn't work, but because this is how I want to play. So this was my, just to play devil's advocate as well.
I think why he was making Dorgo forcing to play at left back is what he did on right, he wants कि भाई तू उधर left में भी करे, because when
Hmm.
he was thinking too much ahead, like if what if
Hmm.
Ahmad Diallo returns.
Hmm.
I did not buy Patrick Dorgo to compete with Ahmed Diallo. Otherwise
Fair.
उसकी left खाली हो जाएगी if
Hmm.
Ahmed वापस आएगा. So
Hmm.
he made Patrick Dorgo कि भाई तू what you did on right, just made it do it on left. But he was
Hmm.
not able to. Okay, it was clear. So in summer it will answer more कि भाई if Patrick Dorgo actually wants to be a left wing back, or we might sign two left wing backs. Okay,
Hmm.
or we don't get any signing for right wing back. Okay. तो ये मेरे को लगता है कि he wants Patrick Dorgu to play on the left. What about Zirkzee? I think
Interesting.
Zirkzee को Zirkzee वो दिखाना चाहता था ऑडियंस को भाई Zirkzee नहीं काम कर रहा. It was simple. He gave the last chance. Maybe
Um.
he gave so many chances to
Yeah.
Zirkzee कि भाई तू नंबर 9 भी खिलाया, 3 मैच
Yeah.
नंबर 9 खिलाया. Zirkzee had just one job to do. By prove
Yeah.
Ruben Amorim wrong. Just play good.
Yeah.
Just be on number
Yeah.
9. उसका heat map खोल के दिखाओगे ना. He's not even on final third by. He's on midfielder. What he was doing on midfielder if he's on number 9? And when he was proper, like number 10, he was roaming everywhere. Like I don't understand about Zirkzee के position क्या करती है in
But
game.
also for the panels, I just wanted to ask because I forget, where did Xerxes start on the pitch? Because there was Xerxes and Sesko. Did Xerxes start on the right and Sesko start up front? This
हाँ
was what
Yeah.
happened, right?
हाँ
According
हाँ.
to the formation wise. So Xerxes
Yeah.
starts on the right, where
Let
he's
me
clearly
pull up
should have
the heat
started
map.
probably behind Sesko. Considering he himself, no player says I am a 9.5. So clearly he himself calls himself a 9.5. So you could have started Xerxes behind and probably play, but then you play Cunha behind him. Then Cunha was playing really well on the left. So all of these put together, and Yashba, I totally appreciate your comment because I had never thought that कि वो experiment कर रहे हैं. मतलब अब if
This
Ahmad is
season
going
is
to
also
come, what would
experiment by
happen?
this.
हाँ,
This season also experiment. Like I was hoping to
हाँ,
CLC to be started, but maybe
hmm,
he's not fit. He came out the big injury, right? From
hmm,
U18 only. So
exactly.
maybe उसको implement नहीं करना चाहते थे because it was very physical game against Wolves,
Hmm,
and
hmm,
they have nothing to lose. Yeah, Wolves nothing to lose.
hmm,
They just have to kill the
hmm,
game, and that's
hmm,
what they're trying to do कि भाई हराम बॉल खेलो. But
hmm.
हमारा balance इतना खराब था तो मैं आपकी heat map पे pull कर रहा हूँ. Okay, I'll just
हाँ,
trying to share.
yes, yes.
Okay, I'll just
Perfect. In the meantime, anybody else wants to
I just share the
make?
screen. So if you wanna
You're
see,
already doing it. हाँ, by मैं stage में add कर दूंगा. एक minute रुको. हाँ, yes.
so apparently Zirkzee was right में, ठीक है, but
Hmm.
I don't know वो गया ही नहीं है स्ट्राइकर पे. एक ही बार गया है वो जब उसने चांस कर दिया, ठीक है. We were playing against Wolves, not a big team. Okay, उसकी इंटेंसिटी मेरे को इधर दिखनी चाहिए, like near the final third. That was expect from Embumo, क्योंकि अगर Embumo की दिखाओ तो Embumo की पूरी राइट में पूरी इंटेंसिटी होती है, वो लाल लाल कलर होता है, like the red color would be here. बट जर्सी की कोई इंटेंसिटी नहीं दिखी है. पैट्रिक डोर को ये देखो ऐसी इंटेंसिटी दिखनी चाहिए मेरे को ऑन द Zirkzee पोजीशन, बट इट वाज नॉट. आई कैन नॉट सी Zirkzee इंटेंसिटी द होल गेम. तभी कितने मैचेस दे भाई को, कितने करें, मतलब कितने मैचेस वी कैन डू गिव एंड ट्राई. दैट्स माय मेन थिंग.
Yeah. 100%. 100% by. I think, I mean, a lot of the reports also said half of his head below the afro was in Roma already. So I guess, yeah, I think he had already made up his mind. The big problem with him, Yash Bhai, is he clearly wants to be in the Dutch squad for the World Cup. So he's not getting his chances here, number one. Number two, if he goes to Rome, they're in a title race. I think. There is a 3 or 4 way title race there with both the Milan clubs, Roma, Juventus. They're all close by, in close proximity. At some stage, Roma was leading. I think the last few matches have not gone according to plan, with Milan leading now, Serie A. So he is in the race for a title. So obviously, and I think they have injuries as well, Roma, at this point. That is one of the reasons why they're looking at Xerxes. So I mean, any player, by if you want to feel wanted, you want to play, you want to, especially being a World Cup year. So I don't blame him, but clearly, as you said, he's not set out for the Premier League. But coming back to the point of playing players consistently out of position just so that you want to play a particular formation, your thoughts, Viggy, on that, and then I'll come to you, Vishal, lastly.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I was genuinely frustrated with what happened against Wolves, especially when we did so well in the previous match. I think just reverting to the back five against Wolves was not the best, but in some cases I also understand why. So the reason why I think Dorgo started on the left rather than on the right is Dorgo is not a right wing back or a right winger similar to Ahmad. What I mean by that is Ahmad and Mbeumo, they have much more technical qualities and close ball control, whereas Dorgo does have some decent technical abilities, but he prefers to just knock the ball more into space and eat up ground. That's what he does on the left and he does on the right. Now, against Newcastle, we had that space. Against Wolves, we didn't have that space. So that's why I think having him start a bit deeper and then attacking that space, if whatever existed against Wolves, was better. So I think in theory, I'm okay with him starting at left wing back rather than in the right. But Xerxes, yes, I think the less said about him, the better. If he leaves, he's clearly not a good fit for what we want to do at our club. Wish him the best. He gave us some happy moments last year. But beyond this, I also think one fundamental thing we're missing, apart from just blaming the current players and also Amarim, is we don't have any sort of ball progression from midfield. The ball progression, the responsibility lies entirely on our centre backs, and that is what Amarin's system does. So that's the only thing I will say he's a bit inflexible about because there's a lot of responsibility on them, and the midfield there's not much responsibility on them to progress. Bruno's, of course, the only progressor that we have, and all of our players like to play very safe passes. What I mean by that is, if there are two players in between and you have to thread a ball through, that's a riskier pass or it has a lower margin for error. Most of our players would not make that pass. Like that's why if you see actually now when Aiden Heaven picks the ball up and actually zips the ball in between the lines or even Martinez, it feels
Martinez.
like a breath of fresh air when either of them do it because that's not something that they're used to. And because of that, we don't actually get our players into play between the lines. It always goes like a U shape from one wing back to the other between the centre backs and so on. So I feel partly it also has to do with midfield personnel. Like if we get better personnel, and Kobe has had some chances as well. I agree that he's not had too many chances, but I think when he's had some chances, he's not really stamped his authority. And even I'm
100%.
also playing the youth. We are united after all. But the youth are also not always ready. We saw what Jack Fletcher. Honestly, Jack Fletcher, I think that 45 minutes, I mean, he didn't really have much of an. There were a couple of times where he
Again,
actually.
played out of position, Vicky. Jack Fletcher. I mean, I was on the stream. I was watching this live stream when Yash Bhai was streaming with a bunch of others, and he was crying out for Lacey to come out because it was perfect, right? So you take Xerxes off the right, you have Lacey, and the best thing about youth is yes, they might not be ready, but then the other team is also not ready for you. I don't think Rob Edwards, when he sat with Wolves, was preparing for Lacey. And that is what youngsters at United have always done. When given a chance, that's the X factor. They have no fear. They're coming out, they're less research, they come out and then they perform so well. That is because that's what our club is based on: youth, courage, and success. So youth and courage, both of them hold. The success, obviously, there is a huge if. But what I'm trying to say is, again, Jack Fletcher for that game, I felt it was a wrong substitution. And what was more baffling was his press conference, post-match press conference, where he said after he bought Jack Fletcher, he basically they United had more control over the game. So, anyways, and just to add to Viggy's point, right? Everything Viggy said, I absolutely agree. Another big beef that I have with this system is that this system, the back three or back five, this only works if, as Vicky said, the ball progression happens really well from the center backs. If you thread in passes, you play between the lines. But more importantly, the way this current system works at the moment only happens when the opposition team engages with us, goes toe to toe against us. And that is why we have been playing well against all the big teams, or even Wolves away. Just to give you an example, Wolves away. Wolves tried to play. They wanted to. They felt there was an opportunity with all of our players gone to AFCON. They did go toe to toe with us, and that is what probably helped us, and also the quality of our players. But the same Wolves, for example, at Old Trafford, for example, I thought they sat back. they allowed us to come to them, and then when we don't have that and the lack of quality, then they punished us. So that is one major beef I have. And the other beef that I also have is, um, when you play this system without any intensity, because then this is not seen as a back three, then it becomes a back five. You are playing five defenders essentially against even lowly ranked teams, and defensively minded players, when playing with low intensity, will only have defensive minded things on their end, aka safe passes. So this is all of the things that I found to be wrong with the system, the mentality, and players being played out of position. But your take on it, Vishal, as well.
Yeah, I feel like, as you guys said, technically, that Amorim system has flaws. We don't have those fast-paced intensity players or the ones to give the passes who everything is absolutely right. I'm totally in with Vignesh over here. The thing, what I feel, why I stay 50-50 will still here is when Ruben Amorim took over, when he took over Manchester United, I was looking how he performed at Sporting. Okay, the way when he came into Sporting, he overhauled that entire squad. The entire squad of the Sporting was overhauled over a period of 1 year or 1.5 years. He overhauled the entire squad, and he brought every single player that he needed. Now, why I stay 50-50 is first, we haven't bought each and every player that he has wanted. Still, he hasn't got all the intensity players out there. The players that we have had with the available resources, he has said, I feel like these are forced experiments. He doesn't have any other options. He's trying whatever is possible. Will this player suit to this role? Can he do better? It's all looks like a forced experiment for us right now. And with the amount of injuries that we are having right now, uh, I feel like I feel like Dallas was playing at the left wing back, right? He was playing at left wing back, and suddenly he's put on into right wing back because there is lack of players availability. It seems like not like Ruben wanted to play him in there. There's no other options left, so Dallas goes there, and let's put Logo back in. So I feel like it's the amount of injuries we have right now, and not Ruben has not got all the resources that he has wanted it. I still don't want to take a 100% call on either of the side. This is ego hurting, or I don't want to take on either of the side because after we saw from the Sporting side, I just feel like we need to give him time. Let's give him the resources because if we keep on sacking managers again and again, stating a reason,
Yeah.
now again another manager will come. He'll change the players. He'll change another system. This cycle keeps on repeating. Something we need to avoid. I feel at least for some period of time. I feel like I feel let's give him some time. Let's give him what he's trying to do. And if everything is a task, and I feel like Yashbai said, I think Yashbai or someone else said, when did we see Sesko, Yambumo, and Kunya start in the top three for 5 straight games? I think nobody, we haven't seen that. Any of the players misses into, we are trying some new things and everything. I feel like this season has been better. I don't think so. Suddenly, this season will get better immediately in 2026. We'll still feel some other issues. And if we are going through in the Brighton game, if we are going through again, then another tournament to play. So that maybe 2 games a week, and then we might face another some injuries, and we might miss another few players. So we might face a lot of issues. So give the time, and I feel January transfer window is going to be really crucial for us because if we are going to let go of Xerxes, we definitely need backups because with the players' amount of injuries, and I really don't trust Ugarte in the midfield. Like I'm really sorry to say that, but really Ugarte in the midfield, we want Kobe and Bruno back as soon as possible. And with all these issues surrounding, it won't be fixed as soon as possible. So I just want to trust on the process. Maybe give this window a time, and also the summer window. Then maybe that's the time to take a call on how Ruben's tactics are working. So that's why I feel like I'm still on 50-50 on both of this.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Vishal. And that's a brilliant segue to what I wanted to also bring about next. But before that, I just wanted to give a disclaimer that whenever and I think I said this in Shashibai's channel as well, Mid Wicket Manager, I told him ki I ask all these questions, or I present all of these problems, or I point out to all the flaws. That doesn't mean that I am Amorim out. It's just that the eye test is so bad that what baffles me is, if we as fans are able to see this week in and week out, he sees them every day in training and in the matches. So clearly, there should be something that you can change, because we can shout, we can, be frustrated. We can come on podcasts like this and, put our heart out, but nothing's going to change because the manager, as Yashbhai said, yes, it's his ego, it's his team, his choice. But then when there's something happening, you can make that change. And when you don't, make those small changes, then yeah, that is why it does baffle me. But here's a scenario question from my end, because Vishal kept saying we should give Amorim some time. So my point is, let's say if United do drop points against Leeds and Burnley, which we play away, and these two are, Burnley is relegation fodder as Wolves. Leeds is really, I mean, they let me bring about Leeds. And I think a very interesting thing to say about Leeds is they have changed their system mid-season also. I'm just saying. I'm putting it out there because that is the fact. That is what Daniel Farke has done. They started out the season, didn't go well. He's changed a few things. They are looking like a different team. And this match is again going to be at Ellen Road. And we all saw what Leeds have been doing the past few matches. And let's say FA Cup, something happens and we are out. So that means we are in danger of not playing the FA Cup. And with the FA Cup also exists the dream of Europe, right? Europa League. There is the dream of Europa League. So that is out. And then Leeds and Burnley. So essentially, if we drop out of Europe or in the contention for Europe, has the Amorim experiment gone too far in your eyes, or do you think, as Vishal said, what are we gaining by going through this whole rigmarole? We are not Chelsea. We do not sack managers like that. We need to keep Amorim, even if those results don't, work in our favor. So that is basically the next point, next topic of discussion. Vishal, why don't you start off? Because you were the one who said we need to
Yeah,
give up time.
obviously. So, okay, see, that's the same point. I feel suddenly this Sunday, I don't think so. We are going to thrash 5 goals against Leeds. And
No, 100%.
after watching the game against Leeds versus Liverpool,
Mm,
Leeds literally had their walls backed against. Like they were just stopping the shots from Liverpool. And
mm,
that's definitely going to happen with the attack we are having right now. It's not going to be easy to score goals at all. Maybe they might be tired actually. After they are playing the game in a span of 3 days, I think. They played on the New Year's Eve. So maybe they might be tired. There might be tired legs. But I feel like there won't be any sudden improvement in our team's gameplay. It's going to be the same. What we saw against Newcastle, that one banger from Dogo, that's what gained us the 3 points. Still, we struggled to put 2 or 3 or 4 goals. Either Sesko's finishing has to get much clear, like much, 100 times better in a single game. If it happens, then we are winning easily because there were some opportunities where he could have thrashed, as Yashbhai also said about that. If that happens, we are scoring goals. If the finishing is going to click, we might win. Or it might be the same story. Because if Leeds are going to play with the walls in the back, I really don't see us scoring the goals. There's no
mm,
Ahmad out there, there's no Yambumo out there. And if it's still again Xerxes going to be on the right, and if Lacey is not coming in, I feel like maybe that's one change they can try. Lazy coming in, that might be one thing which I have to agree with it. But I feel like, yeah, Amorim experiment is going as a risky factor right now. But I still feel like if we lose, I feel like the English media is even more, they have the pressure to one game loss. Somebody mentioned over here, one game we lose, they will be talking everything about sacking manager. One
mm.
game we win, the game we win wouldn't have been clinical, but they would have
Yeah.
started to price and they would be talking about top three, top two, and all.
Mm, mm,
That's like they are either of these two extents, which I feel like we don't need to be. We need to be there need to be some time for patience.
mm,
Patience is something that we need to deal with. Even I remember Ruben Amorim saying something. You guys have an agenda that you want to spread. If I win, you guys will say everything in a positive way. If I lose, you guys will say everything in a negative way. He said something in a press conference, and I feel like Ruben Amorim is not taking what press says into his mind. So that's something positive out of him. But still, the results need to come. There needs to be some changes that we feel needs to be done, has to be done. We have to see how the game goes actually, especially if he's making those changes and still the results are not improving. then we can still believe that the players need to come back. As he has said, he needs his full strength squad back. He did mention about that. So we have to watch and see this game to conclude that what he can do better going for the FA Cup and everything.
That's a very
That's my
balanced
point.
take because so essentially you're saying, Vishal, that with the amount of resources he's got, he shouldn't be judged, and he should only be judged when the full squad is back from AFCON,
Yeah.
especially all of our main players, and then you can take a balance, which is a very balanced take. Yash bhai, Viggy, you are on the same page here, or do you have different opinions? Because I think Vishal spoke about impatience here. I think the impatience is stemming from how inconsistent the other teams are there, and you can literally see opportunity every week because even the top teams like Man City, Liverpool, I mean Arsenal this season are having a crazy season, but the other ones, they're all dropping points. So clearly, every game, how many weeks have we said, win this game, we are fourth, win this game, we are third, win this game, we are fifth, but that never happens. So that adds to the frustration. Is it also because the other teams are to blame for this agenda against United, or do you think, like Vishal said, these matches don't matter, the full squad comes back and then we are better to judge him?
Yes, why go first?
अरे यार honestly I will be very honest, मैं इतना सोचा नहीं, but by the way can you take a comment first?
Yes,
Comment,
sure.
हाँ comment ले,
Ha,
comment ले.
let me just thank you so much, Kevin, for your comment here. Back three versus back four is the biggest dilemma we have right now with Delict and Maguire injuries. Also, Euro and back three this season looks susceptible. Yes. Yash bhai, do you want to take this?
हाँ मैंने like back says back नहीं यार I think he don't, मैंने ऐसे बोला बहुत बार repeat किया, but I don't think so he has any option. But obviously I missed Delete and Maguire for sure because he's the guy who also support Euro. Because if Heaven is starting and if Richa is also between me hota hai, so Euro looks strong as we saw in the last game, last game, sorry, because against Newcastle when we was defending so good. But yes, I missed Delete and Maguire, to be very honest. And नहीं यार, I disagree यार. Back three, back four is biggest dilemma we are right on. नहीं नहीं ये नहीं यार. सब team करती है यार. Even though Arsenal, Chelsea, I think everyone plays in traditional football. हमको यार, if I say कि भाई let's say कि Arsenal में कल साका जा रहा है, okay, टिम्बल जा रहा है, and उधर से कौन है उनका दूसरा राइट में, let's say उनका जुबेमेंडी भी जा रहा है, ठीक है, उनकी राइट पूरी खाली कर रहे हैं हम लोग. What they will do? Will be the top one right now, or do you guys think it will be struggle?
That's a good question, Yash, but I think Arsenal here might not be the best example क्योंकि उसका squad depth
हाँ
insane.
squad depth बहुत है, मैं
They
बता रहा
have
हूँ सिर्फ.
squad depth is
नहीं
insane.
मैं नंबर 1 का बता रहा हूँ. Like do you guys think कि वो नंबर 1 पे स्टिक करेगा, नंबर 2 पे आ सकते हैं? I think. चलो सिटी की बात करते हैं. Let's remove Turkey and let's remove उनका तो ट्रांजिशन होता है. सिटी तो पूरा घूमता रहता है. बट मेरा पॉइंट ये है कि उनका राइट पूरा निकाल दिया. लेट्स से कि लिवरपूल के साला नहीं काम कर रहा. ओके, राइट में दे हैव वेरी प्रॉब्लम्स लाइक सोबोसलाई, दे हैव टू प्ले समटाइम्स राइट बैक. उनके मिडफील्ड प्रॉब्लम, लुक वेयर लिवरपूल आर स्टैंडिंग राइट नाउ, इवन दो दे आर सो स्ट्रांग इन द पेपर. अभी भी आप ये से खेलोगे ना, लिवरपूल आपको कभी भी मतलब ऐसे गोल देगी. ओके, तो उनका राइट पूरा खाली हो गया, तो राइट में कितना स्ट्रगल आ रहा है. तो हमारा तो पूरा एक साथ ही राइट निकल गया. वी डोंट इवन स्क्वाड डेप्थ. उनके पास स्टिल भी स्क्वाड डेप्थ है, हमारा स्क्वाड डेप्थ ही नहीं है. ओके, लिवरपूल ट्राइड अगेंस्ट क्रिस्टल पैलेस कि लाइक व्हेन दे यूज देयर पोकेमॉन्स लाइक एकेडमी प्लेयर्स. ओके, बट स्टिल कुछ नहीं हुआ ना, हार गए ना अगेंस्ट क्रिस्टल पैलेस, राइट? I call them Pokemons, like don't get offended, but I just call them Pokemons. So it's a cute word I call them. And many people are trying to amplify though. But Kevin, I thought I disagree. Yaar, nahi.
I think
Oscar
Kevin
is
here is trying to say कि we have to also take in. I think in so many words he's trying to say कि we have to also take into account. Sorry, take into account that Delict is missing and Maguire is missing as well, and that could also be the reason why we are also conceding so many chances. Because when Delict was injured, until then, Delict was probably one of the best defenders in the entire Premier League. I mean, the numbers he had put up was just insane. So probably
नहीं,
that's what
मुझे
Kevin is
डिफेंस का
coming back.
प्रॉब्लम नहीं लग रहा है, मेरे को अटैक की प्रॉब्लम लग रही है लाइक डिफेंस में तो फिर भी हम गोल खाते थे, लाइक दैट्स माय पॉइंट कि भाई हम डिफेंस में गोल तो खाते थे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं थी, बट वी कुड हैव, वी ऑलवेज स्कोर लाइक 3 4 2 गोल्स एटलीस्ट, वी गेट द चांसेस, हमारी एक्जी अच्छी होती थी व्हेन एम्बुमो आमाद होता था, तो राइट। तो मेरा पॉइंट ये था कि यार मेरे को डिफेंस में फ्लॉज लगता है, क्योंकि डिफेंस में हमारे पास डेप्थ बहुत है, इवन तो हमारे अकेडमिक प्लेयर्स एंड बैकअप प्लेयर्स आर गुड इनफ टू डू गुड एट डिफेंस। प्रॉब्लम मिड और मेरे को अटैक में ज्यादा लगती है, क्योंकि उनकी झलक नहीं बन पाती है, एज आई सेड कि भाई हमारा कंसिस्टेंट नहीं आती है, जब ब्रूनो एंड कैसेमिरो हैज टू लीव आफ्टर 60 मिनट, उनकी फिजिकलिटी नहीं है। एंड कमिंग बैक टू यू द पॉइंट, हैरी भाई, मैंने ऑनेस्टली नहीं सोचा कि इफ वी ड्रॉप द पॉइंट्स अगेंस्ट बर्नली एंड इफ वी ड्रॉप पॉइंट्स अगेंस्ट लीड्स, आई हैव नो आइडिया कि भाई क्या होगा उसके बाद। आई नो कि यार मेनी रिएक्शन विल बी लाइक रूबन आने सैक करो, बट एट द अदर पॉइंट ये भी बात सच है कि भाई उसके पास प्लेयर्स नहीं है। बट I I expect more, like talking about the Vignesh कि भाई हम harsh नहीं हो सकते on Sesko, but I think I will expect more from Sesko because we paid 90 million. He's not a baby anymore. He's been trained. He's been like a good player at RB Leipzig. Secondly, we are paying very high wages to Sesko. Okay, if we expect goals from Gyökeres, if we expect goals from Isak, any striker, I as a United fan, I would also expect कि my player थोड़ा step up करे. Baby जैसा ना treat हो. He should have take responsibility. Shot ले रहा है तो focus please shot ले. And I also expect Cunha जब focus lose करता है. Okay, many people are saying कि भाई कुनिया बहुत अच्छा है, बट भाई वो पूरा गेम में फोकस होता ही नहीं है। ही जस्ट सो रिजिड, ही इज सो वाइल्ड कि भाई उसको भागना होता है, एंड ही जस्ट लूज हिज माइंड ऑन द फील्ड। एंड ये रूबन आने ने कॉल आउट किया कि भाई वो बंदा ऐसा है कि भाई वेरी रिस्क टेकिंग, इट्स ओके, इट्स गुड, रिस्क टेक ले, वी नीड सम प्लेयर्स हु टेक द रिस्क टेकिंग, बट वी आल्सो नीड प्लेयर टू फोकस हो भाई, जैसे ब्रूनो होता है कि भाई जब ब्रूनो, जब आप देखना जब ब्रूनो भी अपना दिमाग लूज करता है ना, वी नेवर वॉन द मैच। फुलम में when we he lost the penalty, he lost his mind, he's running over here and there। कुनिया भी सेम कर रहा है, कुनिया तो पूरी गेम ही माइंड लूज कर देता है। ही शुड हैव बीन वेरी फोकस्ड ऑन द गेम, लाइक जब भी वो शॉट ले रहा है, जब भी वो ड्रिबल ले रहा है, ही हैज टू फाइंड द प्लेयर्स, भाई मेरा प्लेयर कहाँ पे, लाइक that's what I think। तो यार कुनिया has to improve totally यार, yes कुनिया final third some decision making improvement, totally I agree कि कुनिया को step up करना पड़ेगा। he has to help सेस्को भाई, अगर वो जर्गजी से नहीं हो रहा राइट में से, अगर लेसी भी आता है तो लेसी से एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर सकते वो चांसेस बनाएगा टू सेस्को। ओके, वो पहले अपनी गेम्स इंप्रूव करेगा कि भाई मैं फिट हो रहा हूँ कि नहीं हो रहा हूँ। तो मैं कुनिया से ज्यादा एक्सपेक्ट करता हूँ एंड सेस्को ज्यादा एक्सपेक्ट करता हूँ, क्योंकि आई नीड गोल्स इन द लीड्स एंड बर्नली। हमने बहुत टाइम से गोल नहीं मारे, and it's been matches, and these are the matches where I expect more from Manchester United, because we cannot drop the points in these matches, because the next games are City and Arsenal। ठीक है, तो that's my point।
Exactly, bhai. Exactly, and that is why I chose those matches. Because the next matches are quite favorable for us with how we play,
Hmm.
with the players coming back. Arsenal and
No,
City,
we can
I to be
surprise the
honest,
world, like
exactly,
we have done
exactly.
it before, it's not a
Yes.
bad thing, but हमारे पास वो surprise वाले players नहीं है अभी।
Hmm.
Like Ahmad can come back, okay, Ahmad and Mbumo can come back, no doubt, but still we can surprise in City हम, और we against Arsenal as well, क्योंकि हमने Arsenal के against perform भी कर दिया है।
Hmm.
And Arsenal always struggle in front of haram ball, and we play very good haram ball as well this season। ठीक है, तो आर्सेनल स्ट्रगल करती है, बट सिटी के अगेंस्ट आई डोंट नो यार, सिटी के अगेंस्ट तो बहुत दूर की बात है, बट आई वांट नेक्स्ट 2 गेम्स एटलीस्ट गेट 2 विंस यार, नो क्वेश्चन। ये गेम्स होती है, इसलिए मैं वुल्व्स के अगेंस्ट बहुत पिस्ड ऑफ हो गया था। यूजुअली मैं होता नहीं हूँ, लाइक आई विल वेरी पॉजिटिव, लाइक मैं पॉजिटिव फाइंड करता हूँ, बट मेरे को कोई पॉजिटिव दिख ही नहीं रहा था। एंड मेनी पीपल हु आर वेरी पॉजिटिव, वो भी उनके माइंड दिमाग खराब हो गया था, गेम प्ले नहीं आ
Exactly,
रहा
bhai.
था भाई। अगर हम लोग,
Exactly.
मैं बोलता ना कि बहुत चांसेस बनाए हम स्कोर नहीं कर पाते, वो भी केस नहीं था। लाइक वुल्व्स वर बेटर, टू बी ऑनेस्ट। द क्रेडिट गोज टू वुल्व्स दैट दे इम्प्रूव दैट गेम। दे दे मेक श्योर कि भाई हमको गोल मिले, लाइक वुल्व्स को गोल मिले। दे ट्राइड ईच एंड एवरीथिंग, तो क्रेडिट गोज टू वुल्व्स, नॉट मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड।
Yeah.
ये तो मैं क्लियर
Last
बोलेगा
before
यार।
Vicky can say something, I by exactly to your point, I was there on the stream with
हम्म,
I mean, matlab I was watching you,
हम्म,
Dhruv bhai and Shashi bhai, and I always tell Shashi and Dhruv are like, wo they are not light at the end of the tunnel, they are light in the tunnel. Matlab even when it
हाँ,
is so dark, they are so positive. And I saw that day Shashi was getting so pissed. मतलब
अरे
Wolves
Shashi,
game
I
lost
was
it.
getting, if you seen the watch long at 20 minute, I was getting like मैं pissed off हो रहा था. शशि भाई like अभी बहुत टाइम है, शांत रहे, इतना क्रिटिसाइज नहीं होना है. मैंने बोला मुझे दिमाग में हो रहा था कि भाई मुझे बोलना था, बट आई एम लाइक नो, अभी नहीं बोलना शशि भाई को. Guys, मुझे दिख रहा था we will not able to score.
हाँ,
हम लोग
yes,
स्कोरिंग करने में दिक्कत करते हैं भाई, वो क्लियर क्लियर बात आती है. इफ हमने
yeah,
कंसीड कर लिया होता तो हम स्कोर नहीं कर पाते, एंड वही प्रूव हो गया दिया दैट आई वाज सो. मैं जब भी मैं प्रूव राइट होता ना तो मेरे को बहुत खराब लगता है कि आई डोंट वांट
yeah,
टू गेट प्रूव राइट कि भाई इन
perfect.
सब मामलों में.
Yeah, perfect, Vicky. I know you have to leave, so I give you the floor 10 minutes to just summarize everything that we've spoken. Basically, I think Vishal and Yash have, in so many words, said that, you know, they want the wins. They don't even want to think about what would happen. But this is a scenario question, and also you can just fill in as to what you think. Would
Yeah,
it be
no, I think
fair to judge?
it's also good that we are playing them away from home and at their
Mhm.
home, because at their home, especially given that they are in the relegation zone, or I think even Leeds are in the bottom half, it's there'll be pressure on them from their fans to actually come at us. They can't just choose to sit back and actually relax. So that will actually play into our hands a bit better. So I think it's a bit more
Mm,
suited to us than playing them, let's say, at home. But
mm,
also, if I have to look overall at Amorim, like, okay, would we sack him if we are out of this? The question, I think, or there are two sub questions I would like to ask. First one, okay, let's say we sack him. Who do we have out there who we think could come in actually and play this role instead of us just going backwards for the next half a year and then trying to choose somebody in summer? Because who do we have? I think a lot of people now will say, hey, Maresca is free. Why don't you get him? But maybe Maresca is destined for City, first off. Maybe he doesn't really want us. And second thing, Amorim, when we got him from Sporting, had far more pedigree than what Maresca has even right now. With all due respect to Maresca, he's not yet taken a team. Of course, you could say Championship versus Sporting was kind of similar, but Leicester were in the Premier League until recently. Sporting were really struggling. I have a close friend in my office who is a Sporting fan, and he told me the struggles that they've gone through. And he said that it was also a struggle after Amarin came for a while, but he really made that change. And you need managers who are capable of taking a squad, building it, and actually becoming winners. That's the question that was always asked of Arteta, which is he was able to take them to second. Can he take them to a winner, to becoming a winner? And I think Amarim has proved that. So I definitely have more faith in Amarim than just us going for the next shiny toy out there.
mm,
We would definitely need to see some improvement in intensity. I think that's the common word we've seen across every debate. But I also don't think we should just sack him,
mm,
because yes, we have some people who are missing through injury. We have some people who are missing through AFCON. And lastly, we still have missing pieces of the puzzle. Like, you give another manager, whoever it is, this midfield and this squad, I do not think we have what it takes to be significantly better than where we are. Like, I don't
mm,
think we can challenge for second or first. We are lucky to be in fifth or sixth right now, exactly because the teams around us are also losing a lot of points. Um, but I don't think, like, until we upgrade our midfield, I would actually not be as harsh on Amarim to the point where I'm saying, hey, let's get him out. Of course, if we end up at ninth or tenth at the end of the season, then I think there's definitely room for potentially letting him go and getting somebody else. But until then, honestly, I would say give him time. I stick with Vishal by over here. Give him time, trust in him, and also, yes, also fair point on with what Kevin said as well in terms of the subs. I think just the subs and some of his tactics have been very questionable. I feel like, especially in the Newcastle game, it felt like Amarim was giving his players a challenge. It's like, okay, I'm making it harder. Now see if you can live up to it. I'm now going to throw on three kids. One of and Malaysia, who people were questioning if he was even alive 6 months ago. Like, okay, can you all deal with it? But yeah, I think overall, I would say I wouldn't lose my mind after the next three games and sack him just yet.
mhm. Thank you so much, Vicky. Just one last comment as well from Rahul. He says, I think the squad size is too flimsy. Even for one game a week, we are 2, 3 injuries away from being a mediocre mid-table team. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the summer was all about that our attack was so bad. We had scored, I think, 56 goals in the Premier League last season. It was so bad that we only concentrated on our front three. and for that we had to sacrifice the overall balance or squad building. And also it was very well known to us that we would play one major competition, which was the Premier League. So that is why I believe the recruitment was done that way. But if we were to qualify for Europe, you could see a very different type of recruiting, and not placing too much trust in the youngsters, or not, I wouldn't say not too much trust, but what I mean to say is put the youngsters in a difficult position, like coming in these type of matches where it's a scrap, and having to, because I don't think since Sir Alex Ferguson the youngsters were allowed to embed, play 5-10 minutes here and there, gain confidence, and then come on their own. It's always been like, now you're thrown into the deep end, swim or sink, or then you're loaned away and stuff like that. But I think Vigi, you need to leave now. So thank you so much. We just have one final question, and I think let me just ask you that before you leave. It's a quick one, which is what all United fans have in their minds. And let me bring that up. Where do you predict currently, now that we've finished 19 games in the season, where do you believe United could finish? Top four, Europa Conference, or outside Europe? Purely your prediction could involve a lot of indicators or factors, but it could also include based on what you have seen as of now, where you would expect us to finish.
Okay, maybe I can go first since I'll just leave after this. But I personally think we'll end up in Europa Conference.
Mhm.
The inner kid inside me wants to say top four, and given how people have been, how the other clubs around us have been so inconsistent, there is still a chance if we up our game and our consistency, which is a big if. Because every time there's been like the pressure on us to say, hey, we win this game, we go to top three or top four, we struggle. So I don't think we have quite what it takes to get to top four. But I think we are good enough, especially with people returning and in terms of injuries in AFCON. And if we are not unlucky with injuries in critical positions going forward, like let's say if Bruno doesn't get injured again, or if Amar doesn't get injured again, or maybe Seshko Acuna doesn't get injured, then I think we're actually in for a very strong shot at Europa Conference.
Yeah, I think I should have changed it from top four to top five. I think top five will also do, considering the coefficients and everything. I think top five should also do. But yeah, I get it, Vijay. And I think Rahul here echoes with your sentiment. And I think he's quite right. We are not ready for UCL, especially given the new format. Absolutely. I think it's brutal, the amount of number of matches, and playing 19 matches, one game a week. If we are having so many injuries, then God save us when we play so many matches and in the domestic cup competitions as well. But thank you so much, Vignesh, for joining us. And I'm just going to ask this question again to Yash and Vishal, and then take in some more comments. But thank you so much for joining us, Viggy, as always. And then, yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed for Leeds, and hope you have a wonderful weekend as well.
Fingers crossed. Thanks for having me. Take care, guys. Glory, glory, Man United. See you all.
GGMU, bro.
Bye
See
bye.
Bye.
you weekends. Yeah,
Bye bye.
GG. Yeah, bye bye. Bye.
Vishal and Yash, bye. Where do you think we could finish based on
I,
what you?
I'll give Yashbhai to go first.
I think
Vishal is feeling
I'll,
scared, or he's feeling
I'll,
nervous.
I'll go with Vignesh. Same answer, like a Europa League. But and for me right now, any cup
Hmm.
competition will be okay. Like at least a
Hmm.
cup competition. Even this conference, even the Champions League. I know for the United standards, it should be a Champions League for sure. But
Yeah.
even though I'm getting any cup competition, I'm happy because if you look at the next year, okay,
Hmm.
we need some games. Even though we have
Yes.
getting some players, it will be a transition seasonal as well. Because many players are gonna go, and many players are gonna come back. Sorry, many players are gonna go, and many players we're gonna buy. Okay, so to train them, we need game in, game out, games. तो अगर चैंपियंस लीग होगी तो दे विल बी सो मच इन प्रेशर
Exactly.
एंड उधर होप्स विल बी सो हाई कि स्टिल मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड अगर चैंपियंस लीग नहीं भी होती है तो भी लाइक वी कैन गेट अ कप कॉम्पिटिशन वी कैन विन इट एंड बूस्ट द कॉन्फिडेंस जो नए प्लेयर आते हैं वी कैन गो द नेक्स्ट सीजन उसके बाद गोइंग टू चैंपियंस लीग एंड मोर कॉन्फिडेंट कि भाई वी आर मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड तो आई नो इट्स अ प्रोसेस इट्स वी हैव टू बिलीव इट हम एक्सपेक्टेशन रख सकते हैं कि भाई हम चैंपियंस लीग जाएंगे चैंपियंस लीग जीत के भी आएंगे बट हमको ये भी दिमाग में रखना चाहिए अगर हम चैंपियंस लीग जाते हैं तो हमको जीत के आना है वैसी वाली एक मेंटालिटी होनी चाहिए हमारी So to be prepared, we need some seasons as well, and that's what Manchester United is trying to do. But अगर dip कर गए ना बहुत गंदा, like ending up 8-10, then that's a problem, like big problem.
Yes.
Because वो improvement के chart फिर बहुत time लगेगा, like more 4 or 5 years. That's what I
Exactly.
see. Because
And
I know the small teams पे ना इतनी hopes नहीं होती, like Leicester did it, like win the Premier League, उतना hopes नहीं होता, उतना pressure नहीं होता, और Manchester United पे always pressure होता है. Like even though if you're losing, even though if you're winning, right? So वो pressure में every player cannot take that pressure. That's what I think. Though. But any cup competition will be okay. But for my prediction, I stick number 5. Like मैंने पहले से number 5 पे रखा था before the Premier League. So I still see it ending up on 5.
nice, bhai. And I think, Yash, bhai, you made a wonderful point that
हाँ
for our rebuilding, for the squad, for our players, it's very important that we have those extra matches. Kyunki Varna, he cannot give chances to the youth. He cannot, give chances to someone like Xerxes, who's, probably struggling in the
true.
Premier League, but he might do well in Europe because that pace might suit his style as well. So, yes, absolutely. And before Vishal, I can have your take a quick comment from Rahul, and hopefully we don't get knocked out by Grimsby next year. Lord. Bye.
Or if even though if you're getting a knocked out from the FA Cup, I don't mind. But at least a fight देके जाए, like at least go to
Ah,
quarter final, semi final. एक fight
yes,
देके जाए, बड़ी
yes,
टीम को हरा के जाए, ठीक है?
yes,
उनका सीजन खराब
exactly.
करके जाए, और कुछ नहीं, मेरे को ये देखना है. तो एटलीस्ट वो जो ग्रिम्सबी के सामने हम लोग हारे ना, तो लाइक वी गेट अ
Yes,
पॉइंट कि भाई FA कप में हमने
yes,
अच्छे किया है,
yes.
विद मेनी मेनी बिग टीम्स हमने उसको बाहर भी करा है. तो एक
Yeah,
पॉइंट, एक रिवाइवल हो जाए हमारे नाम का.
yeah. Bye.
वरना
And
इफ
if you Exactly,
हाँ
भाई.
बोलो
If you
बोलो.
remember last season, वैसा ही था हमको क्योंकि we
हाँ
were doing so badly in the league. Our entire hopes was in the Europa League. कि we were even saying, चलो this lose, you draw this game, कोई बात नहीं. We will concentrate Europa में क्योंकि we were putting all of our hopes, everything, something positive was there. Now, you apart from the league, if you don't perform well, you have nothing to cling on to. You don't have another competition. You have
Hmm.
nothing to cling on to. So I think the frustration is higher, and that's exactly what
True.
Rahul is saying. But yes, a cup competition brings confidence and translates to.
And for this season, specific this season, if Ruben Amorim is focusing on FA Cup, he should not. He should focus on Premier League. Like last season, he did on Europa League, but अगर FA Cup भी बाहर जाता, I don't care. But Premier League में focus करो.
Hmm,
Get the cup competition, nothing else. By players आएंगे next season, even though if it's Conference League, players still आएंगे because
hmm.
we are so attractive team. हमको players मिल जाता है आराम से. उसमें दिक्कत
Exactly.
नहीं आती.
Exactly. Vishal, you had a lot of time to think about it. I hope you're nervous.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I
can make a prediction now.
actually, to be honest, I feel it's nothing going to be either of UCL or Europe. I don't see we are playing conference actually because I feel like there are two options available the way we are going to play European football. Okay, one is winning the FA Cup because last year, if you remember, we didn't care about the league. The only thing we were caring about was Europa League. Win that and get the Champions League spot. That was the main thing. So it's what Amorim is going to concentrate. The thing which I am most confused about is the amount of injuries and squad depth. And if the signings are not going to come,
Hmm,
will they change the focus towards the FA Cup more and try to get the European football spot? Let's say the Premier League gets tightened up. Let's say if we are losing one or two more games, there are many chances that we might fall below in this table. Okay, let's say with the amount of injuries and everything. And I am not having over expectations because after watching so many midnight games at 4 a.m., I am seriously not over expecting anything. Okay, with after the sleepless nights and the performances, everything. So let's say we lose another one game or two game. Okay, are they going to shift the focus going into the FA Cup, win the FA Cup, and maybe get the European spot via that case? Or if you get knocked out in the FA Cup, again you trust in the league and try to get into it. So I don't. I think it's either going to be top five. Minimum top five is going to be there. It's going to be either Europa or UCL. But the way they are going to achieve that is going to be the real question. That's what I
hmm.
think. It's the approach of how they get the European football will be really crucial on the next 2 to 3 weeks, mainly on the January transfer window when the players are returning, and obviously the results for the next two games, Burnley and Leeds, which you mentioned already. So that really is going to matter a lot.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Vishal and Yashbhai. Also, I mean, when I tried to create this format now, I was thinking I wanted to bring questions, play devil's advocate, create a debate. But us United fans, we are so united ki there was never a point where we actually had a debate. Okay, we even had difference of opinions, we had different thoughts, but all of us were in agreement ki yes, this is how it is. We are going to suffer. Even the manager says we are going to suffer. This is what it's going to take. Let's not make any drastic decision. I think majority of the things we agreed on, and it really was not a debate for me, even though I wanted to create one. It turned out being more of a discussion around all topics regarding Man United, and that was the beauty of the whole thing.
But यार अगर जबरदस्ती कैसे disagree करें? I don't know.
Ha, ha, exactly, exactly.
Like if someone else is thinking differently, because I don't even know you guys before, like, right? So
Yeah,
मुझे लगा कोई different thing भी करते. There are people who think differently. There are some people who think like Ruben Amram should be sacked, but none of us guys were.
Definitely.
So
yeah.
many people, like, still believe in Ruben Amram, and that's the
Maybe,
thing.
yeah, maybe we should invite someone who actually opposes Ruben Amorim to the next
Yeah.
next podcast. That would
ये
make it definitely
मेरे
interesting
को एक
because
पता
they
है,
would
मेरे को
definitely.
एक पता है, but it's so hard to contact him.
But Vishal, the beauty of the whole thing is, I'll tell you, in the Wolves game, Yash Bhai, after the game, he didn't speak. He was on the camera. I was watching him. 15 minutes, he didn't say a word. All the other people, they were calling out to Yash Bhai, Arey, Yash Bhai, ठीक हो? सब ठीक हो क्या? And then he said, Bhai, क्या हो रहा है? He's so stubborn. He was literally ranting against Amarim. But look at him today, calm, composed. He's like,
Yeah,
yes.
but
At
मेरे को
that
एक दिन
time,
चाहिए होता है,
such
पता
a
है. After these
exactly.
matches, I need 1 day. Or
Yeah, no, we as humans tend to react. And after watching a game, me for at least at which I don't know which time you guys games are telecasted. For me, it's perfectly at the midnight. Okay,
Yeah.
so I skip my entire sleep schedule. I watched the game for 3 hours, okay, 3 hours till 4:30, and I have to wake up again 6 to go to office, okay. And when they give a disastrous performance, like
हाँ.
it will be like I will be regretting my decisions of supporting this entire club. That's how I will be feeling. I would want to rant out so bad, and that will be out of some people. My roommates, okay, these people will be sleeping literally, and I can't shout or wake them up. I'll go out of the room and go to terrace or somewhere and rant out or anything. And the morning I wake up, these guys will be having fun out of me. Overall, here these people will be like, "You deserve this. You need this." No, that, and we as a fans, okay, we accept that a lot of people will be talking. But when we think about it, and as long as I have been supporting Manchester not for that long time. Maybe last 4 to 5 years I've been supporting United since I've been watching football for last 7 or 8 years since that. And since supporting that, we have knew how United have been, what we have gone through, everything. So yeah, emotions do come out at the moment, but when we are having a proper discussion of actually knowing what is happening, we do know like which is the right thing, which is not actually. We come to, but out of actions after the game, we can't think that normally. After everything, sacrificing sleep and everything, that's
Absolutely.
normal actually. To be fair, it's fair to be like that. So nothing
And
to
I
say about
think
it.
it's a wonderful comment by Rahul as well. Amarim does the same exactly. If we are so frustrated about the performance, that's why you can.
That's why I
I
connect
remember
more
there's
with
this
Amarim,
one
I think.
game. Exactly. There was this one game, if you remember, he came out with a bandaged knuckle. If you remember, he must have
हाँ.
smashed something in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
takes time
I
for the
get it,
feelings to
but
come back.
I get sometimes if if I say, if let's say if I'm feeling same like Amarim, sometimes I don't want to be right, like, मुझे
Yeah.
नहीं सही होना है, मेरे को चाहिए कि भाई मैं गलत प्रूव हूँ, मेरे प्लेयर्स मेरे को लाइक ही ऑलवेज बीन सेइंग कि भाई दिस सीजन विल बी डिजास्टर. पहले उसने बोलता है कि भाई हम 6 महीने में बदल देंगे, स्टॉर्म इज कमिंग, स्टॉर्म इज ओवर एंड स्टफ. तो वो टाइम पे हमको भी लग रहा था कि लाइक स्टॉर्म इज गेटिंग ओवर, वी गेटिंग साइनिंग्स एंड वी विल डू बेटर. जब सेस्को, कुनिया एंड ब्रूमो आए तो हमको लगा वी विल डूइंग बेटर, वी विल स्कोरिंग गोल्स. बट उसका उल्टा ही हो गया. Like, we are not watching any goals like from
Yeah.
Brian and Bobo top scorer above from
Yeah.
those two, right?
Yeah.
And उसको अभी उसको लग रहा है कि भाई नहीं यार, still we are in the same position, still we are doing the same situation. And some situation is not even like on Ruben Amrin. वो
Yeah.
अपने आप ही हो रहा है, like he is not
I mean,
responsible for that.
Afcon is not Ruben's fault.
हाँ,
I mean,
Fault.
missing
Yeah.
all
like
these players.
even if he wanted to try कि भाई मैं कार्य प्लेयर्स को लेके आऊं, but he cannot because हमारे पास इतनी
Yeah,
गेम्स थी
yeah,
नहीं, like कभी
yeah,
थी नहीं हमारे पास गेम्स.
yeah.
और जब भी गेम भी थी ना हमारे पास आर्सेनल चेल्सी
Mm,
बड़ी बड़ी गेम्स आती थी हमेशा. जब छोटी गेम्स आती थी वी कैन नॉट इवन ऑन लीड, लाइक 3-4
yeah,
गोल्स की लीड होती थी,
yeah,
तो वी कैन ब्रिंग आवर प्लेयर्स. और गिव एंड ट्राई का मौका मिला ही नहीं उसको.
yeah.
तो हाउ कैन वी
And
एक्सपेक्ट
by
मोर फ्रॉम ओवर आमरन भी.
And also by, I think we forgot a major point कि it's quite unprecedented कि injuries, AFCON and injury to Bruno. I mean, before this, Bruno has missed what, one game for United as part of injury, one or two. कि now Bruno is going to be out for 1 month. Never happened in his career, I think.
एंड दिस इज द बेस्ट पॉइंट आई हैव. लाइक भाई मेरे को तो बहुत अच्छा लगा कि ब्रूनो चला गया है 1 महीने के लिए.
Mm, mm,
लाइक इंजरी हो गई, वी कैन नॉट चेंज इट. ओके, वी कैन नॉट
yeah,
चेंज. अभी उसको इंजर हो गया है
yeah.
और बहुत खराब हुआ है. ओके, खराब हो गया बट इंजर्ड हो गया. बट नाउ व्हाट वी कैन फाइंड पॉजिटिव, इट्स वन थिंग कि भाई वी कैन सी विदाउट ब्रूनो हाउ वी कैन प्ले.
How we going
लाइक
to play?
हमारे प्लेयर कितने रिस्पॉन्सिबल है ये मेरे को देखना था. एंड वी आर वॉचिंग कि भाई लिसांड्रो रिस्पॉन्सिबल है, उगाटे रिस्पॉन्सिबल हो रहा है धीरे धीरे, और डोरगो रिस्पॉन्सिबल हो रहा है, डालो अपने रिस्पॉन्सिबल ले रहा है. ओके, बट फ्रंट में स्टिल प्रॉब्लम है. बट यही मेरे को पॉजिटिव देखते हैं भाई, कितने कितने पॉजिटिव हमको मिलते हैं भाई इफ ब्रूनो इज नॉट देयर. लेट्स से कि भाई तेरे को भी जाना नेक्स्ट सीजन, ठीक है, ब्रूनो को जाना है पैसे कमाने, कोई दिक्कत नहीं भाई, तू भी कमा. सब ह्यूमन बींग्स है. ओके, यू आर नॉट, तूने अपनी लाइफ टाइम कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन नहीं की फॉर मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड. ओके, or it's okay if he's leaving, if he's not in the plan, if he's not playing on the center attacking mid, it's okay. If he's leaving, I'm happy. But without Bruno, at some point Bruno has to leave, right? We have to understand that as a United fan. 1-2 साल में ब्रूनो को जाना पड़ेगा या फिर ब्रूनो स्टार्टिंग 11 में नहीं दिखेगा आपको. तो वी हैव टू बी प्रिपेयर्ड इफ वी आर वाचिंग कि भाई 5 साल हम कंसिस्टेंटली मेकिंग अ टॉप फॉर अ टॉप 2. ओके, ब्रूनो विल नॉट बी देयर, ये हमको मानना पड़ेगा अगर जब हम कंसिस्टेंट रोल पे आएंगे तो विदाउट ब्रूनो विच प्लेयर्स आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल, ये मेरे को देखना था. तो आई एम गेटिंग अ गुड साइंस कि भाई रूबन आमरीम खिला सकता है इनसे भी विदाउट ब्रूनो. बस यही देखना था मेरे को.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, guys. We've spoken for 1 hour 40 minutes now, and it really didn't feel like it, at least for me. And I just want to first of all thank Yash Bhai for his commitment. Literally was very quite an early morning for him, and I
अरे
think
कोई
as
नहीं
soon
भाई,
as he was
आप
up.
बुलाओ यार, आप सुबह के 4 बजे बुला दो, मैं तो आ जाऊंगा, बट 1-2 दिन पहले बोल देना.
100% by 100%, and thank you so much, Vishal, as well. I think I'm not quite sure, this is the first time we are collaborating as well, but it really didn't feel
Yeah.
like it. We just felt like a bunch of Man United fans talking together, and it was a
Yeah.
real pleasure having you as well.
It was glad. I'm really thankful. It was actually really fun. Thanks to Yash Bhai, thanks to Harish, who actually reached out to me watching my videos. I'm really glad
आई जस्ट सॉ
to
योर
get this
चैनल एज वेल,
opportunity.
मैंने भी आपका देखा अभी. आज सुबह आपने मैसेज किया था, मुझे लगा ही नहीं कि यार आप थे. मैंने अब जाके नोटिस किया कि आप थे यार.
No,
ध्रुव भाई की
actually, for
वो ध्रुव भाई का रिप्लाई किया था ना आपने.
which one? Actually, I didn't get that
You
one.
messaged
The
me right
reference.
today in morning on my story.
Yeah, I did. I did.
वही
I
मेरे को
did.
पता चला
Yes,
कि
yes,
आप
yes.
थे वो.
Actually, the fact is, I've been following like messaging with content creators and engaging for the last 2 or 3 months or so. Connecting with the other United creators, and it was meeting you today with Harish and everyone. It feels like actually I am getting into the community of people who actually support Man United, who actually speak facts and who actually love the club. It's really a great opportunity to meet everyone out of here, and I'm really thankful for that. And hoping for many more collaborations and many more
For sure,
fun
for
and
sure,
interesting things that we could do together. Really looking forward to it, and really looking forward to tomorrow's game. Hopefully,
for
no,
sure,
day
buddy.
after tomorrow. Sorry. Hopefully, we win, and they don't. Probably New Year will start in a much better way. Maybe our finishing skills improve, and let maybe our peace also increases a bit. Let's see how it goes. Actually, thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you, man.
Vishal, and thank you so much. And as you rightly said, this community, makes it very, very nice. Even when things don't go well, even when things don't go well, especially you can feel how supportive this community is. It's almost like a therapy session talking to other people, because they feel your pain.
Yeah,
They're not laughing at you. They feel your pain. They share your
yeah,
frustration.
exactly.
So it's really nice to talk to the community. And I just want to say, on YouTube, and some of these guys like Yash Bhai, Sashi Bhai, Dhruv Bhai, all of these guys are just fantastic people. Not just United fans. Through Yash Bhai, I also had the opportunity to meet other fans, City
Also,
fans, Chelsea fans as well. Such wonderful people. We forget all of our rivalries and we
mm,
talk about football, the game that we all love. So it's
yeah,
fantastic. So thank
नहीं,
you
Chelsea
so
वाले
much,
को बुलाओ,
guys.
Chelsea वाले को बुलाओ, and I'll be on the
Actually,
comments, bhai. I'll be trolling them, bhai, for sure.
नहीं नहीं, मैं एक्चुअली एक एपिसोड, मतलब मैं एक लाइव स्ट्रीम प्लान कर रहा हूँ ऋषभ भाई के साथ,
हाँ हाँ हाँ, बुलाओ उसको, मैं
बिकॉज
ट्रोल करता
हाँ
हुआ
हाँ.
आता हूँ उसको करने,
so this
उसको हर
Rishabh
उसको
Bhai is
comments
he's
किया.
a fan, he's a Chelsea fan.
Yeah, he's a Chelsea
The
fan.
thing is,
Very nice.
I don't like Chelsea, like, to be very honest. Yes. मैं मजाक
Yeah,
भी नहीं करता भाई, मैं हर
that would be the
हर
most funniest one
भाई
then.
हर ट्रांसफर के बीच में आ रहा है उनको, and the Brian Mbeumo situation make me hate more Chelsea. कि भाई आ रहा है player, why you getting, like, why you making Brentford to be make the
Bro,
decision more
they
hard?
can build 2 to 3 teams with their squad actually.
हाँ,
Our squad
भाई
we can't
totally
make
deserve.
one.
ये जो अभी हो रहा है ना, एंजो मैस्का को सैक करके लेके आ रहा है ना, कोई मैनेजर तैयार नहीं आने के लिए, totally deserve भाई. पर सब सबकी
I
सब
feel like that's a huge blunder actually, and that too with crucial part time of the season. I feel like it's like when Man United sacked Ten Hag during the middle of the season, that was a needed sack because United weren't on the right track and the players weren't doing everything. There was a lot of problems, and that sack was actually did make sense. This one actually don't make sense for me. Even if I'm putting into a shoes of a Chelsea fan, if I was supporting Chelsea, I feel really bad, and I feel most of the Chelsea fans do right now. Like this
Yes,
sack makes literally no sense.
yes.
Like after
By
winning the Club World Cup, that
exactly.
after
And
winning the club, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Vishal, as you
Tell
said,
them.
right? Sorry, I just want to point out, even the few Chelsea fans who really like this club model, like how Chelsea operate as a club, like
Operating, yeah.
multi club model, the player transfers.
Yeah.
They said, some of these guys also said it's a self-sustaining model, and they helped me understand how this could be a self-sustaining model. But even those
Actually,
hardcore fans now have turned against the club when Maresca was sacked, because they felt that they have been wronged by this club. And I mean, it's also a meme. They're saying we live in a world where Amorim is still the manager and Maresca has been sacked, which, yes, it's a dig at us. But when
yes,
you look at the
but
numbers, it unfortunately
hmm,
is true.
but we both are at the same place. They are just right behind us. So like Chelsea. Actually, the point you said, the self-sustaining. That's actually true. With the squad depth they have, they can play any number of tournaments they want. They can be in FA Cup, they can be in Carabao Cup, they can be in UCL, they can play Premier League. That much amount of rotations they can do without losing any much of players and the quality they have got. And no, I legit can't still find a reason why they have sacked the Maresca. Obviously, like it doesn't make sense to me. But still, yeah, we have already our problems to be shared and thoughtful
Yeah.
about. So okay, you guys deal with yours. We'll deal with ours, and you do whatever you want. We'll see when time comes. They'll realize it's the club owners need to realize it's not everything is not about the business at times. They need to realize, let's see what happens actually. Yeah, we'll see about that.
Perfect. Again, thank you so much, guys, for joining us. It's, as I said, it's been 1 hour 45, and really didn't feel like it. All those viewers who've been joining us, commenting, thank you so much for doing all of that. Please be sure to check out Yash Bhai and Defective FC. As I said, he's on the cusp of reaching a very important milestone of 500 subscribers on YouTube. And I'm just telling you for a fact, he's not been there for in the game for long, and but it's his sheer dedication and hard work which has led him to this. And you've all given him so much. Now give him the opportunity to give you guys something in return with the giveaway at 500. Na? Yes or no, bhai?
And yeah, thank you. Hari bhai is one of the most hardest as well भाई, वो बहुत अच्छा बंदा है. तो प्लीज अगर मेरे तरफ से कोई देख रहा हो तो प्लीज इनको जाकर सब्सक्राइब करो कि you will get the content, the calm content Okay, आपको इधर कोई डिबेट या बकचोदी नहीं मिलेगी like me. So if you're getting like mind losing, like keep your mind
They do
sharp
love
and
the fact that we get traumatized, obviously.
I do some बकचोदी. I'll be very honest. मेरे को मजा आती है. It depends on the nature. भाई मेरा बकचोदी वाला nature है तो भाई मैं
Perfect.
थोड़ा
And also,
like
guys, please feel free to check Vishal out as well,
yes.
because it's Vishal's content. As I said, is, I mean, there's something so raw about it. You are a spectator on his terrace as well. Getting all the match takes with a very raw content. It's not like us sat in front of a mic with headphones. It's with him on his mobile phone, shouting his lungs out and giving you a straight and honest take. So
भाई
please
हमको भी
check
सिखा
it out.
देना यार विशाल भाई.
हाँ, ऐसा हमको भी एक
You guys
टेरेस
do it. You guys do it
टेरेस
in front of the monitor. I do it in front of the mobile at terrace. That's the difference.
भाई, ये प्रॉब्लम क्या है, कनाडा और जर्मनी बहुत ठंडा होता है बाहर नहीं जा सकते.
That's true, man.
Perfect,
We are
perfect.
used to it right now, right? So nothing to say.
And all of you guys who are joining this channel as well, and thank you so much for all of your comments, support. This is what has kept it going, and I wanted to keep it going at the start of the new year as well. And as I always say, thank you so much for your support. There's a lot of good content coming this year, so please stay tuned in. And also, as part of the new year, stay safe. Take care of yourselves, and most importantly, as I say, as part of this channel, be aware of any corners taken quickly. ये बहुत it's very very dangerous. Perfect. Take care,
Let's
you guys. See you.
bye
Have a
bye
nice
bye
one.
bye bye bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye 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 bye. Take care.